Hey everyone, Fabian, Empire Build Academy, doing a quick video on Monster Generals for the free-to-play. Now, there are a few different ways that we can go about this, and if you've seen a few of my recent videos, you should know what these are now. First one is the Premium Generals with the tokens, where we collect the tokens, we save them up, and we wait for the desired general that we're after. So in this case, we would be after a mounted general, and we would go and get them via that method. Second one is events. I have been talking about the Trial of Knights, but there are other ways that we can get free tokens for generals or get the general via events. I have been mentioning Trial of Knights. For this one in particular, we'd actually use the event Hecate Moon for Maria Theresa, which we'll talk a little bit about later. So that is the second one, is events. And the final one is in the Tavern, which is definitely a quicker way to get the required generals that you're looking for, especially if you are looking to ascend. Now, the title of this is Use These Monster Generals for the Free-to-Play, but the first thing I'm going to say is if you are free to play, then monster hunting is probably not going to be something you need to do, and I certainly wouldn't recommend going after a mounted general using your premium general tokens. And the reason I'm saying that is because you should be in one of the top 2 alliances, ideally the first, and in that alliance there should be a very powerful player on the game that is doing all the monster hunting for you. I know there are occasions where you would want a reasonable monster hunter for solo attacking, whether that comes down to the Vikings or whether you are hitting the alliance boss, but in terms of ascending something all the way, it's a bit of a waste just for those particular events. So the first thing I would say for this Monster Generals for the free-to-play, you really do need to consider, actually, is this a sensible option for spending your general tokens and Blood of Ares as well in doing this? I don't personally believe so, but we will still jump into this video. Now, I'm going to go across to the game itself, but I just want to quickly talk about how I'm going to actually change these videos. I'm doing these videos, we're getting a lot of interaction with the comments, we're certainly getting some good advice. I'm reading all the comments and certainly improving myself, but I do think as well that the other thing I can do with the video is add more resource as to where we get the information from. So what I'm talking about here is, with this one, there is some good advice on Reddit. Reddit is always one of the places I go to if I'm looking for information. And let's talk about the generals that we can get from the free-to-play. Now, again, I'm going to reiterate, I'm going to say it one last time, you really do need to consider if this is something you need to do as a free-to-play. But let's get straight into it. The 3 options are, number 1 is premium general tokens. I will do it again on this video. We're all going to get used to this very, very quickly, and that is good because there's a lot of people that don't do this, and there's a lot of people that haven't seen this information. So I do think it's crucial to keep reiterating and reminding people that what we should do is go into our general tokens, go all the way down to here, find my general tokens. There they are, 121 of the premium, 4 of the other. That's 125. Why have I saved 125? Quite simple. When I go and get one of these generals, let's just say I am going after a mounted general for monster hunting. When I click in the detail and I click on chance details, those chance details are going to be through the roof for the most recent released general. Shapur the First is the most recent, 16.13% drop rate when opening a premium token. So those 121 that I have, I am going to see a lot of Shapurs drop out. Now, the amount that I'd need my original copy of the general, and then I would need 15 further copies to fall out in those 121 to ascend Shapur the First all the way to 5 stars. So you can see this is definitely a very good option for anyone, regardless of whether you're free to play or you are a payer. You should be opening those tokens in one go so you can send that relevant general all the way. And that is what I would say with this. If you was looking for a monster general, or you was looking for a mounted general with kind of the same thing really, then you would wait until you've got them all and open them all in one go. But let's have a look at what is available via the second method, which is events. Now, one of the things I do know is Maria Theresa is an option for a lot of people, especially for just getting involved with monsters and being involved in the rallies, being involved in solo hitting, using her as an assistant, using her as a main. The reason being is she does come with some really, really good stats, and you can get copies of her from the Hecate Moon event. I never know if I say that right. I think I say it different every single time. But that is where she is available. So let's go and have a look at who we are talking about. Can't show you from the example of the event because the event is not currently running. So I am going to go across to my development. If you go across to your development, you're going to find all of your different monster generals in there. And you can see Maria is right there. Now, I haven't bothered getting her from the events. I haven't bothered ascending her because I'm just not involved in monster hunting enough for it to be too important for me at this stage. But if we were going to look at her stats, increases mounted troop attack, defense and HP, so that's all three of them, by 45%, and also crucially reduces your stamina cost by 20% when she is leading the army to attack monsters. So not only are you getting some very, very good decent stats, but you're also getting that 20% reduction as well. If you was looking to ascend her, not going to read them all out, but you can see the different ones on there, including on that first star ascension, which is pretty easy to do to get her to do this, is the items drop rate from monsters as well, which is also 10%. Second one, you've got some debuff there. You've also got some march size capacity in the third one with some stamina reduction, and then the final 2 stars, which will take you probably a while to get a 2 there. You'd need quite a few of those events to be running to get the relevant amount of copies. But she is obviously a very decent option to use as your main, as your assistant, whichever it is you're doing, because again, you may have a mounted PvP general that can do the job just as well. But this, because she is available in that event, she's probably going to be one of the #1 choices to get via that method. In terms of anyone else from the events, I've got to be honest, I'm not quite sure if there's any other events with monster hunting generals available, so that would have to be one again that I'll throw out to you guys out there as well. Are there other ones via the events that I'm not thinking of right at this moment? Is Maria Theresa the best option of those? Even if there was, do let me know in the comments. The third and final one is of course the Tavern. And when we go into the Tavern, this is where you can get your generals and your copies very quickly indeed. So if we go into this and we go into portraits, on the drop down we are now going to choose the administration, because that will be for your gathering and your monster hunting. And then we go into refresh probability in Tavern, and you can see Spartacus, Gaius, Hernando and Constance are the available people in here. So in all honesty, in terms of what they bring and what they offer, they would definitely be good if you're looking to get the stamina reduction. There is actually someone who's really good, which I think is in the next one. But again, if we go into these are gatherers, so we wouldn't want those. But it's again just checking what they offer. I know a lot of people love this guy here, Nathaniel Green. And the reason they love this guy is because he is available in the Tavern, 0.13% drop rate, but when you go and have a look at his stats, that first one is straight in there, reduces your stamina's cost by 25% when general is leading the army to attack monsters. Now stamina is running out all the time for me. If you are in an active alliance, if you're in an alliance that has been running for quite a while, even at the beginning when it can be all hectic and a little bit crazy, that stamina goes very, very quickly. I am always running out of stamina, and that's why Nathaniel Green is a great option, because you are getting that stamina reduction and also those different monster buffs as well. So again, this is potentially a good option and one that you would go after for those different reasons, especially as he is available in the Tavern. John Burford is mounted troop attack by 30%, ranged troop siege machine attack. You wouldn't choose this guy, certainly not over Maria Theresa. Japan. In Japan, we've got Sanada Yokamura, reduces monsters defense by 5% and increases your ground troops mounted troops attack by 20%. And again, you can see there is some stamina cost reduction as well as double item drop rate from monsters, going down all of the different ascensions. Going across to Korea, she is gathering. Go across to China, there is no one. Russia, there is no one. Arabia is Baybars, 0.13%. He also grants you 25% double item drop rate from monsters, so is another really good option when going after these. And when we click on the ascensions, you can see again there is some additional monster buff. I know Baybars and Nathaniel Green are a favourite of many when doing this. And then going into the final one, we've got Cleopatra, who grants again 20% double item drop rate from monsters. And when you go into the ascensions, there is more buffs in there. But that's not where it ends for the monster attackers, because the reason being, if we go back to Europe and going into the mounted troop, like I said, I'm not going to go through all of these, but again, there are going to be options in here as well that are going to be decent for your monster hunting. So again, it's not just the administration you want to look at, you can also potentially look at the mounted troop ones as well. So that is also something to check out, is the mounted troop as well. Now, one of the things I also want to do, and I want to jump back over to Reddit, there is some brilliant advice going on Reddit. Always one of the best places to go when you are looking for information and this is no different. And when we go into this, here is an example. Is Caesar the best monster hunter in Evony? List combo and experience, please. And then you'll get a lot of people. Closer to the Sun is someone who's been playing the game quite a while and comes with a lot of knowledge. And as I said, this is definitely something I want to start doing, is adding some of this information in the description on this YouTube video. So what I'm going to do is, again, if I tried to read all out the comments, it would make the video just way too long. So what I'm going to do is, like I say, on every single video, 2 or 3 different sources of information, and I'm going to put that on every video based on the research I've done. So this particular Reddit post will be in the description along with some other stuff as well. But again, some of the best knowledge definitely comes from you guys as well. So that brings us to the end of this particular video. Remember, Maria Theresa is a great option from the Hecate Moon event, and there is also Nathaniel Green as well, who is brilliant for stamina reduction. So there's a couple of options in there. Give me your thoughts and opinions as well. I'll leave the video here. I'll put in this particular Reddit post in the description, and I will see you in another video very soon. Thanks for watching.